Don't mess with America.
Today is Joe Biden's 49th day in the White House, but who's counting? And in his young administration, it may be the most consequential one so far. Let's talk about it with our friend, Democratic strategist Kevin Walling, who's back live and up late with me on the Final Five. Good to see you, Kevin.
Hey, Jim, good to be with you.
Let's talk about the day that was. So we talked about the COVID relief bill, but he also got Merrick Garland confirmed in the Senate. Marcia Fudge confirmed to run ahead in the Senate. I mean, 49 days in, we don't have, I think we're almost at a full cabinet at this point. But let's talk about the significance of what really was his biggest legislative push so far and how it made its way through.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the best days yet of the 49 days of this Biden administration. And he got Michael Regan through, who will head EPA, the first African-American to head the Environmental Protection Act today as well. So it was a banner day for the Biden administration. Of course, this is what he campaigned on, this $1.9 trillion package that he actually spoke of and introduced even before he was elected president. So I think it's fairly remarkable that that package remained intact throughout the entirety of negotiations, both in the House and the Senate. And of course, as you mentioned at the outset, he'll sign that package on Friday.
For all of the hopes, though, there were many people that believed maybe this would be one of those pieces of legislation that the president can walk away saying, I had bipartisan support, even if it took one vote. You had no Republicans vote for it. You had one Democrat in the House actually vote against it today as well. So what does this say about the deal-making ability here? Do you believe that this was a bill that every single Republican was steadfastly opposed to, or do you think this was a matter of not wanting to give the president the win here?
Yeah, I think it's the latter, Jim. I mean, I think you're seeing out of the White House and the communications team that has been excellent throughout this, saying that it does have bipartisanship support, just not on Capitol Hill. When you have 40% of Republicans supporting the entirety of the $1.9 trillion package as passed, in terms of Republican voters on the ground, I think that speaks volumes. And I do think, to your question, I think it is a matter that Republicans banded together because they didn't want to give President Biden a win on this. And I think it may hurt them actually in 2 years when they face voters with many open Senate seats now with so many retirements and the entire House of Representatives up for re-election.
But what about the fears of many people, many Republicans who said the bill was packed with pork when they pointed out to particular projects that were included along the way, other things that this funded outside of the realm of COVID relief?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the argument that they zeroed in on in terms of trying to manage some support against the bill. But that fell on deaf ears because it's not just a recovery package in that we need to send money to Americans that are struggling, secure funding for schools, secure funding for supplemental food and nutrition. It's also a forward-looking bill, and I think the president will speak to this on Thursday in terms of funding technology projects, for example, funding projects that will revive this economy. You saw the Dow shoot up 500 points based, I think, a lot on what is in that package, saying that America is not just going to get through this crisis, but is going to, with this package, really thrive over the next couple of years.
Look, we had you on from the get-go, really during the early days of the Democratic nomination process going into 2020. You were supporting the former vice president, now president, all through the way here. As we come to this moment, a year into the coronavirus pandemic, we know that he's going to speak to the country tomorrow. And putting politics aside here, I mean, what can a politician possibly say that's going to make anything any better to the American people tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think, Joe Biden is best when he levels with the American people. I was really moved with the concert that was put together and the lighting of the memorial on the Mall during the inauguration. I think when he marked the 500th death, 500,000th death from the South Lawn of the White House, it really spoke to America and Americans in this crisis. And I think you're going to see the same empathetic, calm, reassuring Joe Biden that resonated during the campaign. And you'll see that, I think, on display tomorrow in his speech from the White House.
For people who don't know at home, Kevin has become a favorite guest on a Kennedy show over on Fox Business. And I think last week she had you do this party swap game where you had to support the Republican point of view on some topics here. And before I let you go, I want to ask you one quick thing. Former President Trump put out a statement tonight, a bit disjointed statement, but basically saying that he took credit for the development of the COVID vaccines. But considering the fact that Operation Warp Speed started under his administration, do you believe that the previous administration deserves any credit in getting the vaccine to where we have it at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you saw early parts of the administration, the Trump administration, moving forward and pushing FDA, NIH, other agencies to move forward with the vaccine. And we got to give credit where credit's due. I'm a Democrat, but we've got to come together on this. And I think, you know, there's some acolytes that can be given to the Trump administration for that piece.
Yeah, well, I mean, teamwork makes the dream work. I know it's not necessarily
Amen, Brother Jim.
It's not exactly two teams that we saw working in concert with each other, but Kevin, I got to leave it at that. Hey, thanks for staying up late, literally staying up late with us on the show tonight. Good to see you again.
Good to be with you.
Final Five back after this.